with a low around 53. For Wednesday, patchy fog before 11 a.m., otherwise partly sunny, then gradually becoming sunny with a high near 71 along the coast. And they'll still have those mid to upper 90s inland. Wednesday night, mostly clear, low around 53. And on your Monterey Bay boaters forecast for tonight, small craft advisory in effect until 8 p.m. this evening. Northwest winds 10 to 20 knots, wind waves 2 to 4 feet, with a west swell 5 to 7 feet at 8 seconds, and patchy fog after midnight out there on the bay. Quick look at the traffic this evening. Traffic collision Highway 1 north at Green Valley in the Santa Cruz area. Also another traffic collision near 200 Jolon Road in the Santa Cruz area. That might be Yolon Road. I probably messed that up. Let's see, another traffic collision, State Road 152, Hollister-Gilroy area. It's at 2675. 71 degrees here at KSCO. Up next, we have Off the Lip Radio Show.
Opinions expressed in the following sponsored program are not necessarily those of KSCO Radio, its staff, management, or advertisers. If something is said with which you disagree, please call us during the program in order to help us balance comments.
Good evening and welcome to Off the Lip, the show about surfing and skateboarding. If you'd like to join the show tonight, give us a call at 831-479-1080. That's 831-479-1080. And now, here are your hosts for tonight's program, Neil Pearlberg and Terry Campion.
Good evening and welcome to the Off the Lip Radio Show, broadcasting right here from Santa Cruz, California. We are very honored to have a very special guest in tonight. And I will just let the audience know that we will not be taking phone calls tonight except one.
Who is number one?
This is a quick story. This was from Fred Keeley.
Who's been on the show?
Who's been on the show a couple times.
Yeah.
A Warriors fanatic.
Every game, front row.
Right, right. Fred said this. He said, "You know what, Neil? I got a lot of people in my iPhone. A lot of people, and they all get voicemail. If I don't feel like answering the phone, they get voicemail. Except for one person. I go, who's that? He goes, Sylvia Panetta. She calls." I roll out the red carpet. She gets, "What, Mrs. Panetta, what can I do for you? What would you like? What do you need?"
Fred's a smart man.
When Sylvia calls, you answer the damn phone.
He knows the consequences. Welcome to my world.
Does she run the roost?
Well, look, she's a very tough, disciplined woman. And that's how she always has been. That's how she was raised. It's how she was as a mother. It's how she was as a wife. It's who she is.
Right.
And everybody is thankful for that.
Okay. This is the voice of Jimmy Panetta, who we're very grateful to have him. Why is he on this show? Oh, you know what? I send out these kind of random invitations, TC, and you're like, who knows? They may say yes. They may say yes. Who wants to come on a surf and skate show? Mr. Panetta wants to come on a surf and skate show.
Well, my father always said,
what's that?
If you don't ask,
you don't get.
Nothing's going to happen.
If you don't ask, you don't get. So I asked Mr. Panetta, and he gratefully said yes. And Sam Farr, in a couple of weeks, is coming on the show, who's another great man.
Definitely.
And, if you could obviously, that's some shoes to fill for you.
You're telling me.
Right?
You're telling me. Real big shoes. That's for sure.
What are you going to do about that? The shoes to fill.
Oh.
Do you you could try, it's tough. It's like an athlete. It's difficult to follow a Michael Jordan or the legacy of somebody. Stephen Curry's not going to follow Michael Jordan, or LeBron's not going to follow Michael. They each create their own legacy, right? So you're going to create your own. You're going to make your own music.
No, that's right. But first of all, look, I think we were extremely fortunate to have someone like Sam Farr represent us in Washington, D.C. Because he has done one hell of a lot for this Central Coast, a place that he always called home. And I think that's what I realized, is that when you do represent this place, you realize you're representing our home.
Right.
So, and Sam grew up here. He grew up in a family that was dedicated to giving back here. And so I think if you just kind of follow that, you'll be okay. And that's kind of that's the sense that I have.
Right.
Basically, you understand that you always give back to this place that we called home.
Right. What was it like for you growing up in this area?
Oh, look, I mean,
you grew up in Carmel Valley, correct?
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly. Out in Carmel Valley, growing up in this area, you obviously don't appreciate it. You're a kid, you're bored, you want to do a lot more stuff that you see, out there, and so you get out. You get out and about, which I was fortunate enough to do, from Alaska to Washington to Afghanistan, to Europe. You get out and about, but makes you realize and makes you appreciate how great the Central Coast of California is, how beautiful it is, and how wonderful the people are here on the Central Coast. And that's why I came back, and that's why I want to serve this area.
Sam did a lot of work around. Mr. Farr did a lot of work around the oceans.
Definitely.
Are you going to follow suit with that?
Yeah, definitely.
Because CC and I surf. We like to, right?
That's right.
Well, you haven't surfed in a while. I don't even why I even bother calling you.
You can call me out on that.
I can call you out on that.
You can call me out on that. It's been a while. You
need to get in the water.
No, I know, and I got brand new gear.
And and Jimmy needs to go surfing too.
And what earlier we were saying, because we heard you did put a wetsuit on recently.
Sure, and it was a good thing to do it for Operation Surf.
Yes,
unbelievable.
We're huge fans of Operation Surf.
Did you paddle out?
So. Yeah, of course, paddle out.
Did you fall off the board?
No, did not.
You stayed on.
Stayed on.
Boy.
Yeah.
Well, Operation Surf's very emotional. I'm sure that day, veteran.
Sure.
Emotional day for you too.
Definitely, as a veteran, being there amongst veterans, people who served and sacrificed, who were out there to basically be a part of this. It was a true honor and a privilege to be in that group. That's for sure.
Can I ask you about your choice to sign up?
Sure.
Can you tell us about that? How it came about?
No, of course. It was back in. Look, being a part of the military was something I had always wanted to do.
Which part of the military were you?
I was in the Navy.
You're in the Navy.
And growing up here on the Central Coast, you realize that this area is heavily influenced by the military culture. Look, it started way back when Commander Sloat planted the U.S. flag at the Customs House in Monterey, and having the number of military installations that we have here, and the thousands and thousands of veterans that not only served here, but lived here, and their families came back here and raised their kids here. And so it was definitely, I was influenced by being raised here and influenced by the military and our veterans.
Right.
Something I always wanted to do, didn't do it until it got to about 2003. And I said, hey, I'm going to regret not doing this if I don't do it now.
It was your decision.
It was definitely my decision.
Right.
However, there was one other person involved, and that was my fiance at the time.
Okay.
But she's from
Carrie.
Carrie.
Who's now your wife.
That's correct.
Right.
And she was from North Dakota, and we were engaged. And she said, "Definitely do it."
And how, I could imagine the discussion with your parents on that decision. How did you break the ice, and what was their reaction?
It's the same thing. They understood because they have that same sense of service, and my father did as a veteran as well. So he understood it. It's not that he liked it. I can't say he liked it, but he understood it. He respected it, and that was that.
Yeah,
definitely. And so it got to a point where I enjoyed wearing the uniform. I enjoyed being a weekend warrior. I was in the reserve. But it got to a point where people out there were wearing the uniform as well and doing a lot more than I was doing.
Yeah.
So once again, I talked to my wife and said I'd like to go forward. And so by that time, we had 2 kids, 1 and 3 years old at that point. And I figured, we figured better to do it now when they really can't remember it, me being gone, than in the future. And so I signed up, volunteered, and served with the Special Operations Task Force as an intelligence officer.
Would you let your kids sign up for the military later on in life if they ask you to?
Yeah, if that's something they wanted to do.
Okay.
The answer is yes.
The Bronze Star.
Yes.
How'd that come about?
Ask
you about that.
Yeah, look.
Big stuff.
Right?
Big stuff.
When was the last time you got a medal? Skateboarding. It wasn't surfing.
I just did my job. Yeah. Just did my job and did it well. And fortunately, they agreed too, and they felt it was not only the U.S. Army as well as the U.S. Navy. It was a dual review process that it underwent in order to get that.
So talk about your daughter again. One of them is doing junior lifeguards.
That's right, Siri.
Siri's doing junior lifeguards. She's doing it today?
She's not doing it this summer. She's not doing it this summer. She did it for the past 3 years.
Okay. So she's going to start surfing pretty soon. Because she's going to have a love for the ocean.
I wouldn't be surprised.
You're going to need to go surfing.
She'll get up on a board before me, I'm sure.
We got to take him surfing.
Well, I wonder how many surfing congressmen there are.
There's
the closest thing we've had to a congressman in here in this studio is Larry Fuller, who operated the lift, the elevator in
Right. Well, Fred Hemmings, who was from Hawaii, was a congressman, I believe, and a world-renowned surfer.
I think Jared Huffman up in the north coast of California, northern coast of California. I think he's a big surfer.
I was asked this question today, and I don't know because I'm not up to date with it. Explain. You're running for Congress for this area.
Correct.
How many? I was asked today how many congressmen there are in California.
How many districts there are, too?
Right.
So each district has one congressman, correct?
That's right.
Right.
That's right.
How many districts are in California?
There's over 50. It's I want to say about 53, I think is the number, but don't.
I'm going to hold you to it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, no.
But it's about 53 here in California, 435 across the nation.
Right.
Wow.
So
California is definitely the biggest delegation.
That's a lot more than I would have expected.
So your district, if you get voted in, is the 20th district, which is Central Coast. Can you give us what your span is?
You bet. Yeah,
Okay.
no. Our congressional district here on the
Yes.
Central Coast, the 20th congressional district, spans from the southern Monterey County border. So, and basically we're looking at a map. So you got that southern Monterey County border.
Yeah.
Go north,
Yeah.
all the way to the northern edge of University of Santa Cruz.
Okay.
UCSC.
Right.
Then, kind of cutting out east, it goes up the southern part of Highway 17. It used to have Scotts Valley. It does not anymore. Goes up the southern part of Highway 17 and then cuts over out to Santa Clara County and just has a sliver of Gilroy going up Highway 101.
Really?
Just kind of like a panhandle.
Who comes up with that?
Redistricting back in 2011 put
Okay.
that part of Santa Clara County into it.
Right.
Then it goes, going south, it has all of San Benito County. So
Okay.
once again, all of Monterey County,
Yeah.
all of San Benito County, majority of Santa Cruz County, and just a sliver
Okay.
of Santa Clara County.
That's a lot of pavement to hit for you, huh?
Yeah, it is big.
Have you
It
been
is
busy?
big. Oh, you bet. You bet. Ever since we announced back in November, we've been out there, getting out there as much as possible, meeting people, hearing the issues, hearing the concerns about what's going on here on the Central
What's
Coast.
the biggest concern?
Well, look, there's
I know
a-
I know there's probably top. Is there one that's going to sticks out?
Yeah, no, there's one. I mean, in this area, obviously, agriculture and tourism are the biggest economic drivers.
Right.
And they rely on labor force. And when you get out there and you talk to the employers and the employees, it's comprehensive immigration reform. That's the biggest thing for this area. Now, there's a number of other issues, but right now that appears to be the most pressing issue.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, and I know that's one of your three. Education is a big one.
Right, correct.
And then the other one,
Mental health.
mental health. Well, health
Yeah.
reform in general.
Yeah.
Education. Bernie had this great plan, or who knows if that was a workable plan or not. But to have like affordable junior colleges, is that something that's possible?
Yeah, I mean, look, affordable junior colleges is. I don't think free college is, but
No,
but I
of
do
course
think affordable junior college is. Look, I went to a junior college.
Me too.
And I wouldn't be here in front of you if I didn't go to
Which one did you
MPC,
go-
Monterey
MPC?
Peninsula
Yeah,
College,
right.
community college as they call them now.
Right.
And I am so fortunate because it gave me the foundation to go forward. I mean, it was
Right.
that time in my life where it's time to pivot. I played sports in high school. Wasn't
Wrestler?
necessarily I was a wrestler.
Right.
Played football. Wasn't necessarily focused on academics. I got to MPC, focused on my academics, worked full time, was able to pay my way through UC Davis. It was a huge point in my life, just as it was in my two older brothers' lives. Same thing. They went to MPC, went on to UC Berkeley,
Okay.
both of them.
Interesting.
So yeah, no, I think it is. I think it's something where we should. I mean, no longer is a high school education as valued as it used to be. And so I do think that we need to expand that foundational education that we have, and I think that includes having those first 2 years of college is free.
Okay. You listen to the Off Late Radio Show right here on
plans.
KSCO. Our very special guest tonight is Mr. Jimmy Panetta. Wonderful to drive up here and sit in the studio with us.
I agree.
By the way, Dr. Hetzler, your record is safe, my friend. He is not wearing. Mr. Panetta is not wearing a tie.
Only
so the
one
record of
guest has
the
a
record
tie.
of you wearing a tie is still very intact. This portion of the show is brought to you by the Surf City Sandwich Shop. TC.
Love it.
I was in there today.
What?
Yeah, oh yeah. I went with the clam chowder. Dude, the clam chowder is so good. And the Johnny Utah.
Yeah.
Very, very
Well,
good. I want to thank
Jimmy, right at the end of 41st Avenue.
So good.
Surf City Sandwiches, dead ends in the up there. It is a great sandwich shop.
Yeah, and I want to thank Fig for sponsoring the show. Without him, of course, we wouldn't be having sandwiches.
Hey, those homemade potato chips.
Very, very good. This is Neil and TC with Mr. Panetta. We'll be right back with this very short break. Don't go away. Thank you.
Hi, this is Tim Loslot again, head golf professional at De La Viega Golf Course. This advertisement is brought to you by De La Viega Golf Shop in Ocean 76. Has El Nino dampened your spirits to play more golf this year? Don't let it. De La Viega Golf Course is the only golf course in Santa Cruz County that offers short rounds. During breaks between our much-needed rain, come out and enjoy our short round options. Sign up for 3 holes, 6 holes, or 12 holes. This offer is available all year long. And don't forget to take advantage of De La Viega Golf Shop's new partner, Ocean 76, in Santa Cruz. Purchase $10 or more of gas or any other item and receive a coupon for 2-for-1 offers on a large bucket of range balls at De La Viega Driving Range. And make sure to visit us on the web at delaviegagolf.com. That's delaviegagolf.com.
Hi, this is Steve Pereira, the beach guy at Bailey Properties in Santa Cruz, California. My wife Diane and I are experienced realtors who know and live at the beach, and we've been bringing the coast home to you since 1982. We'd love to help you sell or buy your slice of paradise here on the Santa Cruz coast. Please give the beach guy a call at 831-818-7064 or give Mrs. Beach Guy a call at 831-818-5939. Also, please drop into our website at lifesabeach.com and check out our available coastal properties. Remember, no one knows the turf. Near the surf, better. Cowabunga.
Hey, this is Indra from Surf City Sandwich. We offer the finest handcrafted sandwiches in the county with unique and interesting flavor combinations sure to satisfy. Our motto, go fresh or go home, means we take the quality of our food very seriously. Fresh, local bread and produce is delivered to us each day, so you can be sure you are eating the best tasting and best for you food around. We also have a micro tap room with many local beers and wine. Happy hour is back Monday through Friday from 4 to 7 with $4 pints, barnacles, chowder, and grilled cheese. Located at the north end of 41st Avenue in the SoCal Tower Plaza. Call us for takeout at 346-6952 and check out our website at surfcitysandwich.com.
And we're back here on the Off the Lip Radio Show, broadcasting from Santa Cruz, California, right here in Pleasure Point. This Saturday from 10 to 1, I will be broadcasting live, TC, from the Pleasure Point Street Fair.
Woo!
It should be fun.
It's going to be a huge event.
Yeah, this portion of the show is brought to you by... This is something for Mr. Panetta. Mr. Panetta can do this. This portion of the show is brought to you by Cove Water Paddle Surf, the #1 stand-up paddle shop in Santa Cruz. Just opened their paddleboard and kayak rental concession at New Brighton State Beach. Easy access from the freeway, plenty of parking. Make it easy for you to enjoy the beauty of stand-up paddling and kayaking on the Monterey Bay. For contact info, redeem available spots for a free rental or 50% off a group lesson, go to covewater.com. That's covewater.com.
New concession at New Brighton, huh?
Well, they've had it there last year.
They did?
Yeah.
Wow, that's great.
Yeah, good for him. Olivier's a great guy. He owns a place. I surfed with him the other day. He's a good guy. So go down there and make use of his store.
I've been on a paddleboard and I've
How'd you do?
Okay.
You stood up?
Yes.
Did you look at her? All you need to do is tell one thing.
It's amazing, though, how easy they look until you get out there on
It's
these
easy.
things.
It's a piece of cake.
Uh-huh.
TC has a couple.
Yep.
He's had them for a year. How many times have
I haven't ridden them yet. They're actually in my boat. They are. I moved them down
And the new
boat.
dredge is there, TC.
I know. My friend's running the crane down there.
And the word is that the new dredge is going to ruin their surfing at the harbor mouth, which is illegal, by the way, but that's another thing.
What I'm concerned with is my boat. I back out of my slip and I hit the dredge.
Well, then you
So if this new dredge is bigger than the old
You're in
dredge,
trouble.
I'm in big world of hurt.
In studio tonight, as I said, is Mr. Jimmy Panetta, who, by the way, got the trivia question of the night correct.
53
representatives in the state of California.
for Congress.
And by the way, once again, we are not taking calls tonight. We're just TC and I, except for one.
Mom.
If Mom calls, if Mom's busy, she's not calling this show for crying out loud. But I want to talk to you about Mom. I want to talk about this. The Panetta Institute is advertised on KSCO. and obviously it's your mom's. That's your mom's deal.
Correct.
Right? Can you tell us a little about the Panetta Institute? Because I've heard a little bit about it, but
yeah,
perhaps
sure.
you can fill us in.
Panetta Institute for Public Policy down there at the Cal State University, Monterey Bay. My mother and my father run the institute, which is pretty much dedicated to making sure that our students are engaged with public service. And it's sort of a bipartisan approach. And they have a number of programs that help them encourage their students to do that, from the speaker series, which I think is on this radio station, where they bring in a number of speaker series 4 times throughout the year. They do a Reads project where they bring in volunteers to go out and read in our schools. They just finished up a program where the presidents of the CSU schools come in, and they do basically a program for these presidents in regards to public service.
Wonderful.
And then also interns who go out in Washington, D.C. They bring them there to the Institute. They have them for 2 weeks, and basically how to be interns and what to expect out in Washington, D.C. A number of other things as well. But that's the main thing, is making sure that people, once again, serve in a bipartisan fashion.
So your dad's not sitting in a rocking chair. He's not on the golf course. He's busy.
My parents are not ones to be on rocking chairs.
There's no grass growing under there. There's no grass growing under their feet.
No, it's true. It's true. They're still busy with the Institute. My father's still traveling, still doing work on a number of boards. They're busy, but they're busy at their own pace.
Okay. And your brothers? What do your brothers do, may I ask?
My oldest brother, Chris, is a civil attorney down in Monterey, partner at a law firm down there, has a wife and a kid who just finished his first year at University of Santa Clara. And then my brother, Carmelo, is a cardiologist out in St. Paul, Minnesota.
Okay. Wow, look at that.
With a family wife.
The family get together, right? You guys are obviously Italian family.
Yeah.
Right? The family get together has got to be a hell of a bash. What's served at the dinner table? What usually comes up?
Well, it's a special occasion. If you know it's
I get hungry right about now.
Look, if it's a special occasion, first of all, if my father makes his gnocchis.
They good?
So, they're outstanding. They're the kind of gnocchi that melts in your mouth. Because the worst kind are the kind that just sit in your stomach, right? And they're raw.
Chewing them for half an hour. Yeah,
forget about it. No. These ones melt in your mouth. He knows how to do it just perfect.
Wow.
So
Dad's
that's
a
a good
gnocchi
thing.
maker.
Well, I'm a fan of your dad, and I was telling Neil this earlier. Like, I'm gonna vote for you. How great will it be to have the red bat phone to your dad when you're in office?
Well, look, it's...
Is there a bat phone? Oh, is there a bat phone?
Yeah, it looks like your iPhone. No, look, I'd be remiss if I didn't reach out to not just my father, but my mother when it came to this line of work. But, fortunately, it's something that, I grew up with. And so it's sort of ingrained in you what it's about. And that's giving back. I can't stress that enough. That's pretty much what they've told us. Ever since, the fact that we were able to live the reality of my grandfather's dream, who came here from Italy back in 1921, and basically was allowed to give his children a better life. We were always told, look, because you were allowed to do that, live the reality of his dream, you damn well better give back to this country and community that gave you so much.
Right.
Well,
so
that's
honorable.
what we did.
Right.
It's not a get-rich scheme. This is because you want to serve people and make it better.
I want to give kudos to your manager, Plasha, for setting this whole thing up.
Yeah.
Okay, and she gave me some stuff to ask you, I will admit.
No.
I'm like,
Okay.
some things. We'll chat. I'm not going to throw you under the bus. Too bad. But she did, you're a prosecutor on the gang task force in Monterey County.
I was for 5.5 years,
right?
Correct.
And then we're... in Santa Cruz, we hear about it on the news on KSCO, and you hear about it. I'm not privy to it that badly, except the other day, TC, right down the street
on
here,
my street, we had a gang shooting.
A gang shooting.
It's like
it's showing up here in this neck of the woods. Is this the gang issue? Is it something that's being you guys gotten a handle on it, or is it getting worse, or what's your view on it?
Well, look, we've already had. I think Salinas has had 16 murders this year already. A number of them gang-related, unfortunately. Look, I was a prosecutor in Oakland for about 13 years, minus the year I was deployed over in Afghanistan. And, I figured it was time to, go back home and serve my country back home in that way. And so I was fortunate enough to get a job in the Monterey County District Attorney's Office. And because of my experience up in Oakland, they put me on the gang team. I admit, I thought being from Oakland, I had been there and done that. Shouldn't be a problem. I got to tell you, my first 3 years on the gang team in Salinas, California, my learning curve was very, very steep. Because it was figuring out basically, it was the same type of violence, unfortunately, but it was figuring out the motive for the violence in the sense that it's really not about narcotics here on the Central Coast, what I've seen. And I say that based on my time in Oakland, where I saw the violence driven by narcotics. It was motivated by smaller street corner gangs fighting over street corners to sell their narcotics to make money. Makes sense. I hate to say it, but it does. Right. Down in Monterey County, not one case I've prosecuted that I've handled where the trigger was pulled has absolutely anything to do with narcotics. It has everything to do with respect. That's what it comes down to. You're wearing red, I'm wearing blue, I hate you. And that's the unfortunate thing, because that's tough to get into. That's tough to stop. And what I've come to realize, though, is that because it's about respect, because it's about family, because it's about loyalty, you need to focus not just on prevention, which we'll always need. We'll always need our officers, our men in blue, to get out there and arrest people who do commit some pretty horrific crimes. But you're also going to need some community services to tackle, to go after the families that these individuals come from, because that's important to them.
How do you keep the men in blue's morale up when it just seems to be getting worse and worse and worse? How do you keep is the morale good down there? How do you keep it up?
Yeah, no, look, I worked with a number of good agencies from Oakland to Hayward to even Berkeley to Salinas and Monterey and Seaside and a number of the other agencies down in the Salinas Valley. And, you know, there's something about police officers. I mean, they're not doing it for the money. They're doing it for the service and to give back to their community. So it's their morale's there.
Can I talk to you about the Zahel Cruz case?
Sure.
The case where you had to prosecute the guy whose stray bullet shot a 6-year-old kid in the kitchen, putting his popsicle stick in the garbage.
Yeah, that's correct.
Right? And
correct.
the mom was staring at you the whole entire trial.
Yeah.
Counting on you to bring justice.
Yeah. Yeah.
That must have been. Can you tell us about that?
Well, look, as a prosecutor, that's, you'll never make a family like that whole again.
No.
Nothing could ever make that family whole again. You understand that. But, by going through the court process, by allowing the victim's family to be there, see the process, and to, eventually bring justice to them, you felt you made them at least somewhat whole. You gave them something.
Right.
And what I also felt that we gave them was a sense of what that community is about. I mean, this was a case that took 5 years to bring from when it happened all the way to verdict. And 3 of those years, they didn't know that the crime was not solved. So, what you saw was investigators from the Salinas Police Department, investigators from the district attorney's office worked their tails off to get the evidence to prove this case. And they did that. So you felt you gave the victim's family a sense of what it's about. I mean, these were people who had come here to live the American dream. They came from Mexico to live the American dream, to be a part of this country, and it was shattered by this nightmare. But you gave them a sense of what this community is about, what this community will do for them, will do for people no matter where they're from.
Right.
That's what it's about. And I think they appreciated that and they understood that.
You must have gone home every night and picked up your kids.
Oh, man, I know, right?
Right? And your wife's going, and your wife's going, you must have been, I just see, that would just sap the whole energy out of me.
It can.
How did the jury side on that?
Excuse me?
Did the jury come
the jury came back convicted it in less than 2 hours.
Wow.
Yeah. No, like I said, but the case, like I said, it was a case that obviously it was emotional, but there was the evidence there as well. And you realize you cannot try a case based solely on emotion. As a prosecutor, you have to have the evidence.
You enjoy the work?
Yeah, I do, definitely. It's but you realize it's not just about the work. The most important thing is about the people. I mean, yes, we're prosecutors, we uphold the law, but you must not forget that it's about the people who are affected by the law. That's your number one priority. When we stand up in the court, we don't say we're for the laws of California. We say Jimmy Panetta, people of California.
Okay. This portion of the show is brought to you by the Jerk House. TC went there for Father's Day.
Oh, nice. I went there the other day, too.
My son took me for Father's Day dinner at the Jerk House. Authentic Jamaican food from Grandma's Kitchen, organic and homemade. Specialty dishes include jerk chicken, jerk shrimp, curry goat, oxtail, and curry vegetable bowls, all of which are on the menu today. Check them out at jerkhousesantacruz.com. Or better still, head down to the Jerk House at 2525 SoCal Drive in Santa Cruz. Want to thank Mr. Jimmy Panetta for coming on the show tonight. Very honored to have him here. Wonderful to hear it. Wonderful to hear these stories. TC, good to see you too, buddy.
You too.
Chris, we're going to go to commercial. We'll be right back with this very short break. Don't go away.
TC, good to see you too, buddy.
You too.
Chris, we're going to go to commercial. We'll be right back after the commercial break. Don't go anywhere.
This is Brother Timmy.
And Cleo from Cleo's Corner at Pono Hawaiian Grill.
Featuring wraps, teriyaki bowls, plate lunches, amazing and creative salads, vegetarian and gluten-free options, and over 20 different types of poke, all made to order, fast, fresh, and healthy. And what's your favorite, Khalil?
The chicken fingers.
Located at 120 Union Street in downtown Santa Cruz. Call us for takeout at 831-426-PONO or check us out on the web at ponohawaiiangrill.com. We put the ono in Pono.
Attention surfers and paddleboarders. Don't let cold water or cold air take you out of the water for 5 to 6 weeks. Protect your ear canals with custom-made earplugs. The Listening Stack in Capitola is now offering custom earplugs molded to fit your ears perfectly, comfortably protecting your ear canals from the harsh elements of the Pacific Ocean. Stop messing with universal earplugs that don't work and try something that does. Mention Off the Lip Radio and receive an extra $20 off any custom molded earplugs in our store. The Listening Stack is located at the corner of Capitola Avenue at 41st. The Listening Stack. Protect, enhance, enjoy. 831-498-9890.
And we're back here on the Off the Lip Radio Show, broadcasting, as I said before, from Santa Cruz, California. Our guest tonight is the one and only Mr. Jimmy Panetta. We're very grateful of him to come spend a little bit of time on the Surf and Skate Show. Boy, reaching a new low.
You're telling me.
Okay, how many babies you kissed? Come on.
That is the classic running for an office thing you do.
Yeah.
Has anyone forced you to kiss their baby?
No. I think nowadays with the spread of germs and all the viruses are out there, they know better. But definitely taking a number of pictures and these selfies.
Right, selfies.
Everybody.
Right, everyone's a selfie.
We just saw you take a selfie.
Ben wanted a selfie.
Right. Yeah,
I'm gonna grab a selfie at the end.
Yeah. That's like the new autograph.
It is.
Yeah.
That's exactly it. Yeah, no more. Yeah, that's so true. I've done more selfies than I have autographs. That's for sure.
I saw.
And that's not many, let me tell you.
I saw one of your ads on local television, and your children go to the same school you went to?
Yeah, Tularcitos Elementary School in Carmel Valley.
How cool is that?
It's outstanding. It makes me so proud. It really does. It's really neat. And trust me, those schools down there in that area have only gotten better, which is so impressive to see. And it's great that not only will they go to that elementary school, they'll go to hopefully my same middle school and same high school too.
That's great.
Can I ask you your experience running for Congress? I mean, you're the district attorney.
A deputy district attorney.
You're deputy district attorney. Yeah, you made the decision you wanted, to run for Congress. From day one? Kind of run us through what does it take to get to that point?
Well, look, I mean, you
what's the plan,
yeah,
Stan?
Yeah, no, exactly. What it comes down in my case, what it came down to is we needed to make sure that people knew me and what I'm about, and not just the last name. Now, because of the work that my mother and my father have done in this area,
you can't get away from that.
Because of my grandfather was here. That's right. No, I get that.
You may as well use it.
No, I mean, but look, the way I grew up is you realize that, the name is one thing, but it's up to you to get your butt through the door. That's just how it was. I mean, you asked about our dinners, our family dinners.
Yeah.
They never talked politics. They never talked shop, okay? Right. We knew they worked hard. We knew how hard of a job it is on not only the individual, but on the family. But we also knew that you had to keep it separate. And my parents did a good job in that. They always told us we had to give back, but that's kind of it. And so getting back to what I was saying, we needed to make sure that we got out there and that we put ourselves in front of people so that they could know us and that we could get to know them here on the Central Coast.
Sure.
And that's what we did.
Right.
And I think that it contributed greatly to the result that we had in the primary.
Okay.
Just getting out there, making sure that we hear from the people, hear about the issues that are important to the people here on the Central Coast.
Okay. Not getting too far ahead of the game. Future aspirations?
November 8th.
That's it.
That's it.
Not going any further than that.
November 8th.
One
That's what
step
we're looking
at a time.
We're looking at November 8th. That's it. That's our focus right now. That's our goal.
How is the voting on the Central Coast? Do we have a good turnout?
Yeah, no, I think this year, I don't have the exact numbers. I'd be remiss if I surmised about them, but I think that it was a decent turnout for this area, and that was because of obviously it's a presidential election. It was a presidential primary, and so people came out.
After you came home from Afghanistan, you worked on the advisory council of Monterey Bay National Marine Sanctuary, preserving our oceans and taking that passion to Congress. What is as the surf show, we need to ask you about. Hey, man, we need to we like to go surf. Yeah. What work are you? Yeah. I mean, obviously Sam Farr did a lot of work around the oceans. What's your plan? Or if you have one, around protecting what we have out here? Because the oceans, you roll up the waves around here. You roll them up, this town's going to dry up.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the surfing brings a lot of people to this town.
Yeah.
And you mentioned tourism as the number one factor.
No, look, as you know, being from this area, having grown up in this area, we appreciate how special this area is.
Yes.
It is special, yes, because of the land, but most importantly because of that crown jewel that we have out in front of us,
right.
The Monterey Bay,
which just seems like it's doing awfully well right now.
Yeah, it is, and it is, but it's look, protecting our oceans is something where it's Gary Griggs, marine biologist at UCS, he told me this, and I agree with him. He says we're never going to solve it; we're always going to be solving it. Okay, so it's a continued thing, and that's why I was fortunate enough to be a part of the Monterey Bay National Marine Sanctuary. And on the advisory council. And one thing I respect about them is that when I put in my application first, Paul Michel, the superintendent, said no.
Really?
He said no. He said you got to earn it. And so it was great because it forced me to get out there, and I volunteered to do some water testing locally, did that for about a year, resubmitted my application. He said, okay, now you can.
Really?
Yeah.
Put a little time in.
Exactly. No, so I appreciated that. And I was on the advisory council for a while, and, they do good work. I mean, we all, look, I mean, what you saw about that council is what makes this area so special in the sense that when the Monterey Bay National Marine Sanctuary was created, it was created because everybody was at the table. You had all sides at the table. You had the fishermen, you had the environmentalists,
right.
You had agriculture, you had tourism. Everybody was there. Everybody had a say in how it was shaped. And that's how that advisory council is to this day. Everybody's at the table. You hear a number of views at the table, but that's what makes it great, and that's why it's so special. There's no doubt about that. Now, look, going forward, I mean, look, rising sea levels is something we got to be concerned with.
Right.
There's no doubt about that. With the unfortunate climate change and the warming that is happening, that we're feeling this week, obviously, and fortunately, it's not like India where it's 125 degrees.
Right,
I think was one report.
It was 124 in Palm Springs
the
other day.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. So that's going to affect how the seas affect us here on the Central Coast. I mean, I think it's going to affect 1 million people in California. I think what they say it's going to raise 3 to 5 feet by 2100 was the latest report. Wow. That's going to affect a lot of people right here.
You're seeing beachfront properties, TC.
I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, exactly. Look, I think that we need to have a task force that is ready to deal with that issue. And I think we can look to what the Netherlands is doing there in Amsterdam with this system called DeltaWorks. And they're looking at basically flood control. They're looking at a slow retreat as well. And so it's just something that we all have to take into account. I mean, if you put in $1 now, we're going to save $10 in the future by dealing with that issue. So I think that's something that we need to be concerned with, especially right here on the Central Coast.
You think of a place like Venice. That's already sinking. You talk 3 to 5 feet.
That's right.
Yeah,
that's right. That is an incredible number.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah. And I have a question for you. November 7th, everything goes great, and you whisk off to Washington D.C.
November 8th.
November 8th. What's the biggest hurdle for you? What do you foresee as being the biggest challenge when you land in Washington D.C.?
Well, look, I think it's like anything new. You're going to be drinking from a fire hose. Okay, there's going to be a lot to learn. There's going to be a lot to listen to, and it's making sure that you can take it in and make sure that you understand the ground before you land on it. So I think it's going to be the obviously the logistics of everything, the legislative process, and a number of other things. Just like anything else when you get into something new.
Getting to know the peers.
Yeah,
right.
Exactly.
Speaking of this, I got to touch on this real quickly. Maybe I shouldn't, but I'm going to. In 1996, there was a cafe shooting that left 35 people dead, 19 seriously injured. right after that, there was a ban and mandatory buyback of more than 600,000 semi-automatic rifles and other guns, which were melted down. That country, Australia, has not had another large casualty mass shooting since. What can we do to prevent what happened the other day in Orlando? Is there something you have in the back of your mind that you could throw your hat in the ring or is there do you have an idea of a way to solve this?
Well, look, I think it's obviously, we grieve and we mourn for the people, for the victims in Orlando, the town of Orlando, as well as everybody across America that was bear witness to that terrible tragedy. But you would hope that something should be done. Anything should be done. It's ridiculous if we don't do anything. The senator from Connecticut said it best, and he said, look, we go to Congress not to send out tweets of our thoughts and prayers. The only thoughts we should have is how to do something about this issue. The only prayer should be for us if we don't do anything.
Wow.
So something should be done. There's no doubt about that. Now, look, when it comes to assault rifles, I do not think Congress has the chemistry right now to come to a compromise on that issue. But damn it, I think everybody can agree that a terrorist, someone who's on the terrorist watch list, should not have a gun. Hopefully, now, unfortunately, today we saw 4 bills fail.
Yeah, they failed. They all failed.
Yeah,
right.
yeah. I mean, and imagine if you were one of the victims' families who went to Washington, D.C. to get something, and you're sitting in that gallery and vote after vote, nothing comes up. I mean, like Senator Nelson from Florida said, what do you expect me to tell 49 grieving families after today? What do you expect them?
I said the same thing. I thought about it. All these people that are fighting any gun control of any kind, if one of their family members were in that club,
it'd be a different cup of tea.
What would they be saying now?
Right. Right.
And it's really, I think, pretty sad. And then what happens? Gun sales skyrocket.
Yeah. Look. I mean, the fact is, to your question, there is no silver bullet. Okay, there is no silver bullet. But it's incumbent upon us as Americans, as leaders, to figure it out, to do something.
Okay.
And it does start in Washington, D.C. Unfortunately, there's so much damn dysfunction right now in Washington that they can't even agree on something that all of us agree on.
Hey, why are you stepping into the dysfunction? I mean, you seem to got a nice little, gig
get
going
it.
on Monterey down here. You got the family, you got the
That's
2
right.
kids, you live in
That's right.
Carmel Valley,
That's
right? What the heck?
Yeah.
Why you wanted to go on the East Coast and tackle the dysfunction?
Because, let me tell you, because I've seen the good that can come out of it. First of all, people tell me, you sure are optimistic as to what you think can get done in Washington, D.C. And I say, damn right. I have to be in order to be in this.
Right.
All right? That's number one. Number two, I'm a prosecutor. I go into court every day. I deal with somebody who wants the exact opposite thing I do, the defense attorneys. Yet 98% of the time, we come to an agreement. We can do this, okay? That's what it's called. It's called having respect, having an understanding of the other side. And I do that every day.
Right.
And third, I was back in Washington, D.C. at a time when I did see them work. And that was back in the early 90s when I lived back in Washington, D.C. I worked for the U.S. Department of State in the Office of Weapons Proliferation Policy. But it's not about what I learned in the State Department that resonates with me. It's about what I learned in my own apartment, in the sense that I was living with my father and 3 other Congress members at that time.
Yeah.
And it was a time that I saw firsthand where congressional members were able to go out to dinner with one another, were able to enjoy one another. Not just Democrats, not just men, but women, Republicans. They were all there at the table, developing a chemistry, which I honestly believe led to their ability to compromise. And I know that can happen. The most important thing, though, is you see the results of the work. I hear about it every single day. People make it a point to come up and talk to me about the service they received from their Congress members on a number of personal issues. And these are stories that didn't just happen yesterday. They happened 10, 20, 30, 40 years ago. Yet this is the story they're telling about. It's that service that they got from their congressman just from doing their job.
Yeah.
And that's what it's about, because you see how it can affect not only that individual, their families, and their future.
Okay.
Well, and let's just jump to sort of add to that. If you're willing to sit at a table with these people, that's the beginning of it.
That's right.
You got to start somewhere.
Sure.
I know where we can start, TC. Let me tell you what everyone needs to do. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
This is what they all need to be doing. This portion show is brought to you by Pure Power Yoga on 41st Avenue.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Okay. If we all just did yoga, I was there this morning, got my ass kicked.
You saw my social media post about that?
No, I did not.
That's what I said. I said if everybody did yoga, there'd be such a drop in violence.
Right. Pure Power Yoga, 41st Avenue. You'll be surrounded by great people, great teachers, great energy. Get ready to sweat, stretch, and flow, and most importantly, have fun. And you'll be able to put your gun down. For details, go to purepoweryoga.net. We'll be right back on this very short break. Don't go away.
This is Numa and Isaac from Aloha Island Grill. Well, summer's right around the corner here in Santa Cruz, and that means one thing. It's time to come get your grind on at the Aloha Island Grill.
Come over to Aloha Island Grill and eat some food.
We're located on the corner of Portola and 17th Avenue, and we've got a beautiful lanai for you to come sit out on. We've got a fine assortment of plate lunch, fresh ahi poke, and other wonderful treats for you to enjoy.
My favorite food at Aloha Island Grill is Kalua Pig.
We've got ice-cold beer and wine for those hot summer days, and try some of our homemade POG, Passion Orange Guava Juice. It's delicious. For to-go orders, give us a call at 479-3299. Find us on the web at alohaislandgrill.com or come on down to 1700 Portola Drive. Aloha Island Grill is a proud member of Think Local First.
Chill Out Cafe on 41st Avenue, Santa Cruz is not just a block from some of the world's best surf, but it is also where you can go relax and order the tastiest grub before and after your sesh. Plump burritos, fresh salads, sky-high sandwiches, and a superb selection of hot and cold drinks. They have something for you. Go to chilloutcafesantacruz.com to view their menu, and to place your order to go, call 831-477-0543. Chill Out Cafe, where they roll the fatties.
We are back with the All Third Radio Show right here on KSC. This portion of the show is brought to you by the Santa Cruz Armory. Oh, yeah. They are lifetime family-owned and operated business with a friendly, knowledgeable staff without... Because you know why? Because they do yoga.
They do.
The guys from the Santa Cruz Armory do yoga. They do not have the gun shop attitude at the Scots at Santa Cruz Armory. Check them out at santacruzarmory.com or go to or give them a call at 706-737-4.
You know what?
I know you have a hard-hitting question, but
but I got something real quick I want to say about the Armory. What I really respect about these guys is they'll come to your house if you find Grandpa's gun in the attic and don't know what the heck it is. They'll come out there and take care of it. And I think that's a great service because I think unnecessary guns around the house should be taken care of.
Friend of the show, John Sisk. I call him the president. He's the prez because he's president of Lighthouse Bank. Also goes to the yoga. He's texting me today, right? He says, tell Jimmy that you heard rumors that his best fundraiser took place with John Sisk and John Burroughs here in Santa Cruz. I'll ask him if there's any truth to that. Is there any truth to that?
Yes,
really?
Definitely. It was definitely one of the best.
Why is that?
Because of, yes, the where it was at a beautiful house up on Santa Cruz, up on the hill up there in Santa Cruz. But most importantly, it was because of the people there who were there.
Good people?
Wonderful. Outstanding people. Definitely engaged. Asked a lot of good questions. It was a fortunate opportunity for me to be there. Definitely.
TC, you had the hard-hitting question?
Well, no.
You told me it's hard-hitting.
My hard-hitting question is this, and Jimmy, I know you're going to be able to answer this great, but anyone who's listening and maybe they're undecided on the vote or maybe they're still considering who they're going to vote for, but my question is, someone listening, why should they vote for you?
All right. Well, definitely won't be because of my surfing skills.
No.
I hate to say that. Sorry for this.
Not yet. We're going to work on
exactly.
that.
Exactly.
Well, he called Luke Rockhold a kook.
Me? I know, yeah.
Are you going to call him that?
No.
Because otherwise,
let's get back to this question.
Sylvia's going to call out.
I know, right? Not my son.
Well, look, no, and that's part of the reason why I wasn't a surfer. Is my mom wouldn't let me get in the Carmel, beach, the water down there because of all the undertow and the rip tides down there. But so I didn't surf, but I definitely surfed, and I think that's what it comes down to is that it's based on where I'm from, what I've done, and what I will continue to do, and that's service. I think I've proven my service based on my time as a prosecutor, based on my time in the military, based on my time on the number of boards that I've been on, not just the Monterey Bay National Marine Sanctuary, but my work with veterans, making sure that we continue to serve those who serve us. And it's basically having that foundation to go forward, to deal with the issues of the Central Coast, and to make sure that they get solved in Washington, D.C.
Are we taking better care of the veterans at this point? Or should we do more work around them?
Well, look, we can always do more,
Okay.
and we should always do more.
Right.
There's no doubt about that. But the fact is,
Because you've got skin in the game there.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Not only as a veteran, but I knew in working with a number of veterans down there and working with our political leaders here on the Central Coast, that's an important issue. That's why this fall we are going to have a Central Coast Veterans Cemetery. That's why in last February we have a Veterans Treatment Court in Monterey County, which Santa Cruz County has had for some time. That's why we're going to have the Veterans Stand Downs coming up in August, where homeless veterans are coming in. That's why we continue to have homeless services for veterans at the Veterans Transition Center. You bet. That's what it's about. And it's about continuing to provide this service for people here on the Central Coast. And let me tell you, that's the most important thing about this job. Sure, policy is important. Policy created in Washington, D.C. definitely is important. But let me tell you, people make it a point to tell me about the service they receive from their Congress member, and I know that that's the important thing. I know that that's what I will continue to do if I'm fortunate enough to be in that position.
I want to share with the audience, this gentleman here is very nicely dressed, right? Nice blue shirt, right?
Sharp.
No tie.
Very sharp.
Thank God,
Yep.
no tie. But the sleeves are rolled up. I mean, he just looks like he's ready to tackle something.
He's ready for action.
He's ready for action. He come in here like he's not ready for us because this is a piece of cake, but looks like he's ready to do something.
I think being a prosecutor, you got to roll your sleeves up a lot.
You got to deal with a lot of things.
Yeah, and
let me tell you.
I honestly think that's a great precursor to what you're doing in the future. I think that's a great to really deal with people.
Yeah.
And learn tough decisions.
And look, I mean, as a prosecutor, you realize you're kind of a bridge. You're a bridge from that victim's family that we talked about to the process and ultimately justice.
Yep.
And that's how I see the role as a U.S. representative. You're a bridge from the people here on the Central Coast to the services of the U.S. government and back.
Yeah.
That's what it's about.
Right. Well, for our local audience, for our statewide audience, nationwide, and worldwide audience that we have, because we're streaming live on Santa Cruz Waves, you can catch the show after on YouTube. We want to thank you for coming on the show, and we support you here.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank
you,
this
Neil,
KSCO guys support you,
hands down.
And I want to. We were honored to have you here, and it was wonderful to hear you talk. And I just feel like somebody's going to go back east to Washington D.C. and do something.
Well, I loved it because you go, hey, I think Jimmy Panetta might come on the show, but he asked if we can do it on the phone, and you go, nuh-uh, you got to come in the studio.
You got to come down here.
That was awesome.
Sam Farr, I got Sam Farr talking me to do it on the phone.
Well, I think that's great.
He's put his time in, though.
That's right.
Okay, you haven't put your time in yet,
That's
right?
That's
okay,
right.
22 years from now, you can sit back at home on the lazy boy and give us a call.
And Sam's done a hell of a job. He deserves that.
He
That's
deserves
for sure.
it. I want to thank you for coming on the show. By the way, the future show's coming up. Next week, a great rock and roll band, TC.
I can't wait. I
It's
love
fun.
music.
This roof's going to be raised. I'll tell you that. De La Soul, whose movie just came out, called It Ain't Pretty. I just went and saw it in San Francisco. It's about the women that surf Ocean Beach.
Great
in San Francisco.
reviews
Great
for that.
movie.
Yeah, great
I saw the
reviews.
movie. It was unbelievable.
It
She's
Ain't
coming
Pretty.
down with Bianca Valenti, who was still the women's big wave world champion.
And the Queen of Mavericks.
Queen of Mavericks going to do that
And
again
we're
going to
cash him out for winning.
Cash him out for that. One of the great shapers in Santa Cruz is coming back on the show, Mr. Steve Coletta.
Can't wait. Love Steve.
July 19th, returning to the show. How did he do this? Brian Stowe.
Oh, Brian Stowe. Rock
Brian
and roll,
Stowe.
Brian.
Because Neil, Metallica has to come on and play. Brian, whatever you want. He's doing great work around the bullying in schools.
Wow.
And also coming on the show right after that is Congressman Sam Farr.
Wow.
And after that is the great pastor from Twin Lakes Church, Renee Schlepfer, is coming on the show. He's an awesome speaker. So he's an awesome guy.
He's a good man.
Coming on the show.
Great man.
So I want to thank everyone listening to the Off the Radio Show. Thank you, Mr. Panetta, for coming on the
Neil.
show.
Thank you,
TC.
Terry.
Great show.
Thanks, buddy.
Thank you, Jimmy.
See you next week for another Off the Radio Show. Good night to you all.